I never thought I would have to deal with my ex again. We broke up years ago, after he had a mental breakdown and was diagnosed with schizophrenia. He became paranoid, delusional, and hostile towards me, accusing me of cheating on him and trying to make him look crazy. He was hospitalized several times, but he never got better. He refused to take his medication and blamed me for everything that went wrong in his life. I loved him once, but I couldn't stay with him. He was a different person, and he hated me. I waited until he was stable enough to move back in with his parents, and then I ended things. It was the hardest decision of my life, but I had to do it for my own sanity. I felt guilty, but I also felt relieved. I moved on with my life. I met a wonderful man, Sam, who treated me with respect and kindness. We fell in love and decided to start a family. I was overjoyed when I found out I was pregnant. I couldn't wait to share the news with my friends and family. But there was one person I didn't want to know. My ex. I knew he would react badly, and I didn't want him to cause any trouble. I had cut off all contact with him, but I still had a connection to him through my sister-in-law, Jess. She was my brother's girlfriend, and she had been friends with my ex for a long time. She knew everything that had happened between us, but she never took sides. She stayed loyal to both of us, and I respected that. I was glad that my ex still had someone who cared about him. But I also trusted her to keep my pregnancy a secret from him. I told her not to tell him anything, and she agreed. She said she understood how sensitive the situation was, and she promised to respect my wishes. I believed her. I was wrong. A day after I told my family, I got a phone call from my ex. He sounded angry and confused. He said he knew I was pregnant, and he demanded to know why I hadn't told him. He said he had a right to know, because the baby was his. He said he was going to sue me for custody, and he wouldn't let me get away with this. I was shocked and scared. How did he find out? Who told him? I hung up on him and called Jess. She admitted that she had told him. She said she felt sorry for him, and she thought he deserved to know. She said she didn't think it would matter, because he would be happy for me. She said she was sorry, but she didn't think it was a big deal. I was furious. How could she do this to me? How could she betray me like this? She had no right to tell him anything. She had broken my trust, and she had put me and my baby in danger. I told her that I was done with her, and that I never wanted to speak to her again. I told her that she had ruined everything, and that I hated her. She begged me to forgive her, but I didn't listen. I hung up on her and blocked her number. I also blocked my ex's number, and I called his parents to let them know what had happened. They were appalled, and they said they would try to get him some help. They apologized for his behavior, and they said they hoped he wouldn't bother me again. I hoped so too, but I was wrong. A few months later, I had my baby shower. Sam and I decided to have a big celebration, and we invited all of our friends and family. We rented a function room at a nice bar, and we had a blast. Everyone was happy for us, and we received a lot of gifts and well wishes. But then I saw him. My ex. He was standing at the bar, looking around. He looked disheveled and angry. He had a wild look in his eyes. He had somehow found out where I was having my baby shower, and he had crashed it. I panicked. I ran to the security guard and told him that there was an uninvited guest who needed to be removed. I pointed at my ex, and the security guard went to talk to him. He asked him to leave, but my ex refused. He started yelling, saying that he wanted to see me. He said that he was the father of my baby, and that he had a right to be there. Sam and some of our friends heard the commotion and came to see what was going on. They tried to calm him down, but he only got more agitated. He screamed at Sam, saying that he was a liar and a thief. He said that he had stolen me and my baby from him, and that he would never forgive him. He said that we had never really broken up, and that we were still together. I was terrified. I ran to the bathroom and locked myself in a stall. I started crying, and I called my mom. She came to find me, and she told me that my ex was gone. He had eventually left, after making a scene and causing a lot of drama. She said that everyone was okay, and that no one was hurt. She said that she was sorry, and that she loved me. I was embarrassed and ashamed. I had wanted to have a nice baby shower, but instead I had a nightmare. I had ruined everyone's fun, and I had made a fool of myself. I felt like a failure. I decided to end the party early. I thanked everyone for coming, and I apologized for what had happened. I said that I needed some rest, and that I hoped they understood. They all said that they did, and that they were sorry for what I had to go through. They said that they supported me, and that they hoped I was okay. I wasn't okay. I was a mess. The next day, I called Jess. I wanted to confront her, and to find out how she could do this to me. I wanted to make her pay for what she had done. I wanted to hurt her, Like she had hurt me. She answered the phone, and she sounded nervous. She said that she was sorry, and that she didn't mean for this to happen. She said that she had told my ex about the baby shower, because she thought he had a right to know. She said that she didn't think he would show up, and that she didn't think he would cause any trouble. She said that she was just trying to be a good friend to him, and that she didn't want to keep secrets from him. I was enraged. How could she be so stupid and selfish? How could she be a good friend to him, when he was a danger to me and my baby? How could she keep secrets from me, when I was her family? How could she betray me like this, when I had trusted her? I told her that she was a horrible person, and that I hated her. I told her that she had ruined my life, and that I would never forgive her. I told her that she was no longer my sister-in-law, and that she was no longer my friend. I told her that she was dead to me, and that I never wanted to see her or hear from her again. She cried, and she begged me to forgive her. She said that she loved me, and that she was sorry. She said that she didn't mean to hurt me, and that she hoped we could work things out. She said that she wanted to be a part of my life, and that she wanted to meet my baby. I told her to go to hell, and I hung up on her. I blocked her number, and I deleted her from my social media. I cut her out of my life, and I never looked back. But I also had to cut out my brother. He called me after I talked to Jess, and he asked me to give her another chance. He said that he knew she was wrong, but he didn't think she deserved to be punished like this. He said that he loved her, and that he wanted to stay with her. He said that he hoped I could understand, and that he hoped I could forgive her. I couldn't understand, and I couldn't forgive her. I told him that he was making a mistake, and that he was choosing her over me. I told him that he was betraying me, and that he was hurting me. I told him that he was no longer my brother, and that he was no longer my friend. I told him that he was dead to me, and that I never wanted to see him or hear from him again. He cried, and he begged me to forgive him. He said that he loved me, and that he was sorry. He said that he didn't mean to hurt me, and that he hoped we could work things out. He said that he wanted to be a part of my life, and that he wanted to meet my baby. I told him to go to hell, and I hung up on him. I blocked his number, and I deleted him from my social media. I cut him out of my life, and I never looked back. But I also had to deal with the consequences of my actions. My family was here as a possible continuation to the story. I tried to move on with my life. I focused on my baby, who was growing bigger and stronger every day. I felt a bond with him that was unlike anything I had ever experienced. He was my miracle, my joy, my everything. Sam was amazing. He supported me through everything, and he was so excited to be a father. He helped me with the nursery, the baby clothes, the doctor appointments. He was always there for me, holding me, kissing me, telling me how much he loved me and our baby. We decided to get married. We didn't want a big wedding, just a simple ceremony with our closest friends and family. We wanted to celebrate our love and our new family. We wanted to be happy. But we couldn't be happy. Not completely. Not when my ex was still out there, somewhere, waiting for his chance to ruin everything. He didn't leave us alone. He kept calling, texting, emailing, sending letters. He tried every way possible to contact us. He begged, threatened, pleaded, cursed. He said he loved me, he hated me, he wanted me, he needed me. He said he was sorry, he was angry, he was confused, he was scared. He said he was the father of my baby, and that he would never give up on him. He was relentless. He was obsessed. He was insane. We tried to ignore him. We blocked his number, his email, his social media. We threw away his letters, his gifts, his photos. We told his parents, his friends, his doctors. We asked them to help him, to stop him, to keep him away from us. But they couldn't help him. They couldn't stop him. They couldn't keep him away from us. He found us. He followed us. He watched us. He waited for us. He waited for the perfect moment to strike. It was the day of our wedding. We were at the church, surrounded by our loved ones. We were ready to say our vows, to exchange our rings, to seal our love with a kiss. We were ready to be happy. But he wasn't. He was ready to destroy us. He burst into the church, his eyes wild, and his face contorted with rage. I couldn't believe he had the audacity to ruin our special day. My heart raced as he marched toward us, shouting and causing a scene. The guests gasped, and some started to whisper. Sam, my rock, stood in front of me, shielding me from my ex's wrath. The priest tried to intervene, but my ex was unstoppable. He accused me of betraying him, of moving on and finding happiness without him. The tension in the church was palpable as the situation escalated. Security was called, and they tried to escort him out, but he resisted, creating chaos. I felt a mix of fear, anger, and embarrassment. How could he be so relentless? Finally, after what felt like an eternity, they managed to escort him out. The ceremony continued, but the joy was tainted by the lingering fear that he might return. The once happy atmosphere had turned somber, and the celebration felt like a battle we were fighting against the ghost of my past. In the following weeks, we took legal action to ensure our safety. Restraining orders were filed, and security measures were heightened. I couldn't believe that our happiness was being threatened by someone who had once been a part of my life. As the legal proceedings progressed, my ex continued his attempts to contact me, violating the restraining order. His obsession grew, and it became clear that more drastic measures were needed. I considered moving to a different city, changing my name, anything to escape the shadow he cast over our lives. Sam and I leaned on each other for support. Our love was strong, but the constant threat from my ex took a toll on our relationship. The strain was undeniable, and we both felt the weight of the situation. One day, as I was leaving the courthouse, I received a call from Jess. She was crying and apologizing profusely. She confessed that she had unintentionally leaked information about our wedding to my ex. She had thought he deserved to know, completely oblivious to the chaos it would unleash. My anger resurfaced, but so did a strange sense of relief. At least I knew the source of the betrayal. Jess promised to do everything in her power to make amends, but I wasn't sure if forgiveness was possible. As time passed, my ex's actions became more erratic. He was arrested multiple times for violating the restraining order, and he continued to spiral out of control. It was evident that he needed professional help, but he refused to accept it. Amid the turmoil, Sam and I welcomed our baby into the world. The joy and love I felt for my child overshadowed the darkness my ex had brought into our lives. Sam and I focused on creating a safe and nurturing environment for our family. Eventually, my ex's actions caught up with him. He faced serious legal consequences, and a court-ordered psychiatric evaluation revealed the extent of his mental health issues. It was a bittersweet moment. Justice was served, but it also highlighted the tragedy of his deteriorating mental state. With the legal battles behind us, Sam and I decided to take a fresh start in a new city. We were determined to leave the past behind and build a future free from the haunting memories of my ex. The move proved to be a turning point, and slowly, we began to rebuild our lives. As the years went by, my ex's presence faded into a distant memory. Sam, our child, and I thrived in our new life, surrounded by love and support. The scars of the past remained, but they served as a reminder of the strength we found in each other. The journey was long and challenging, but ultimately, we emerged stronger, resilient, and ready to embrace the happiness we deserved.